and welcome to the stream. Today, we will be building the leader of the Decepticons, Megatron, in his Decepticon version, because I could not find for the preview, for the thumbnail, I could only find him with the Autobot symbol on his chest for good reference. But we will be building this today, and let me move this actually, because I had this on here for visual testing to see how the new camera would pick up paper and pencil for drawing streams. That's not what we're doing today. Oh, sorry about that. Today we are struggling to get this box open. Actually, it's like no. It's not taped on. It's just really. It's just really tight in there. Come on. Oh my god. Give me 1 minute. This is... Lord. Okay. This is... What is this? Is this the instruction booklet, or is this something else? I think that's the instruction, and assembly manual, and we got some stickers. Oh god, it has screws. I did not expect screws, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Ooh. And stickers. I mean, luckily that's not like, you know, like you can see my face reflective, but like, those stickers are really reflective, and so we're just gonna put them there. Those are dangerous stickers. Okay. So let's see here. Oh, wow, that is a bit messy. That is... Oh. Oh. I think this might take more than a day of streaming. I think we're definitely gonna have to do a pickup stream on Wednesday for this guy, even though we're not doing any, like, prep work on him or panel lining or anything like that. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. I might do some, prep work on him. I might do some prep work on him, like, after I build him, though. Oh, but there's so many places, like, to put panel liner, chat. Like, he's so full. Look at all these gears. Also, the bag, for some reason, they have, like, they have a bag that you can open up. Like, you can just open up the bags it comes in instead of having to cut them open. Which is, like, cool and all, but it also feels, like, unnecessary. Like, if you're building a model kit, you're gonna have a knife or something. Hello, Kingo. We're just taking everything out of the bag, the old tradition. The start of any good Gunpla stream. And I'm kind of regretting the idea of not doing prep work on him. We might actually do prep work on him after all, because there's so much you can do for this guy. We'll decide once everything is out if we're gonna prep him or if we're just gonna do all the panel lining afterwards. But this guy actually is just filled with detail. Oh, and also I'd like to say, for the 3 people who subscribed over the weekend, thank you very much. I'm sorry I cannot call you out by name and thank you personally, but YouTube is doing that thing where it's not telling me who is subscribing anymore. It's just telling me people are subscribing. YouTube's very hit or miss with that, and this weekend it decided it'd want to be completely misses. But thank you if you have subscribed over the weekend. I don't know how big he's going to be! Well, that's annoying. We already dropped something on the floor. But I don't know how big he's gonna be, but let's, I have... Ooh. By coincidence, the Zaku who's missing his eye, which is a big problem, but Let's compare the heels. Let's compare like the ankles. Oh, that's a big ankle. I don't think you can see it properly. Well, black on black isn't good, Merrick. That's not gonna. His not ankle. His shin armor is actually longer than the Zaku's entire leg. So not entire. Foot to knee, not entire leg. I'm being stupid. Let's get it more. Let's see how it compares to a master grade. It looks almost possibly comparable to a master grade, in all honesty, which I was not expecting. This guy might be a bit big. Ooh. Megatron is gonna live up to his name. Oh lordy. This is gonna be a lot more than I thought it was. I built a Starscream a while back, and I thought this was gonna be like that. It looks a little more intense than Starscream's model. Oh, thank God. I saw on like model kits that these were stickers, and I was like, oh no, like I can't, like I don't want to put a sticker on because the stickers look like trash. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. They're not, like, they're shiny and they don't look like they fit at all. But there's actually detailing, so we can pen align this, chat. Thank you, whoever made this. Let us get all of these off now. I think the dog got something off the counter again, but somebody else is dealing with that, so it's fine. These instructions are kind of not the best. I'll be frank with you. These are not my ideal instructions because these are so small. Oh wow, this is a choice. They made this choice, chat. Let me fish that thing off the ground though before we start the sprue that fell. Then once I get that sprue, we can start properly. We might do pan aligning as we go. There's some things that definitely I think are going to be like under the armor, like gears and whatnot, because this guy he is that I think like mid 2010s Transformers, everything has to have those like circles with a line through it aesthetic. Because Transformers loved that aesthetic pretty much from like the aligned continuity. Well, the aligned continuity in the Cybertronian games through IDW. And this guy has a lot of like, I don't know what to call them because they're not gears. I'm sure they have a name. Just like how the small thrusters on Gunpla, everyone calls them verniers. I'm sure there's like a technical name for them, but they're like little caps. I actually have to switch out my gloves now. I did stupid there. Please. Okay, we're good. Oh, I say we're good. I have to still put on the new gloves. Come on. Come on, don't be difficult with me right now. I don't know why it's so damn difficult to put on a pair of gloves right after you took off a pair of gloves, but it's next to impossible when they're like vinyl or whatever these are. Because your hands like produce a small amount of moisture on them, and that moisture just makes it so that it becomes literally a drag to put on a new pair of gloves. You can see it with all the wrinkles because I had to stretch it out. To get it on my hand, I had to pull on it. Let's see here. E? What is this? Oh. No, that's B. I was like, it's a good thing we got that off the ground. No, it's not. That's B. We have to get out E. E1, E2. This is going to be a hell of a thing. B1, B2. There's two B2s, which is, a little confusing. But, no, that's gray. Okay, so it must be these pieces. These are the only dark gray. Okay. E1, E2. We have them. Let's get out our not-so-great sprue cutters. Start up. So as I thought this was a Vernier for a second. I was like, why the hell would he have a Vernier? E1? Actually, I just realized. There's something I wanted to talk about. Well, you always write things down. Alright. I wanted to watch Transformers the movie before stream, but I just didn't have the time. Ooh. But that's okay, because I remember enough of it to still have something to talk about. And how the movie itself really comes across as like one of those old compilation movies from like the 80s or 90s for anime. But instead of like... It comes across as one that actually was intended to be a movie, is how I'd put it. Like, it still has that, like, you know... It still feels like multiple arcs put into one story with one overall arc in it, in, like, one movie. But instead of feeling like it's all cut up, it actually feels more organic. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel abridged, is how I'd put it. A lot of those compilation movies always feel a little abridged. And that's one issue that the Transformers movie doesn't have. It's also silly as hell. But I think understanding that it's more of an that it's more of a, it's just the TV show. It literally is just the TV show. They're like, okay, here's the budget to make, like, instead of one episode, to make one big movie. Oh. See here, E3. There we are. This is probably the worst instructions we've had because well, let's just 1, 2, 3, 4. No, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. These instructions are literally all over the place. Ooh. Yeah, but the Transformers movie, like, even has that kind of feel, like, there's different, like, you could imagine how each one would be, like, its own, each, like, section of the movie would be its own episode or group of episodes, like, when they just go to the garbage planet and you're just like, yeah, I can see this as being an episode of, like, the original run of Transformers or E27. Oh, these are, like, his treads and whatnot. Okay. You know, the whole opening segment where, you know, they invade Autobot City. All this stuff, like, you can just see, like, how it could be each part could be its own episode. When Grimlock and the gang are just on the Quintesson planet, like, each section, again, you can just see, could be its own episode, and they're just like... I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they did. They're just like, here's, like, an arc that's supposed to be, like, a big status quo change for the series, and we're just going to make it into a movie. It really does have that feel. Let's see here, C. I forgot to do nasal spray before stream. No, that's G. We have polycaps, by the way. We have polycaps. I don't remember the Starscream one having very good polycaps, so I'm a little concerned about that. The polycap alignment on this, I remember feeling a bit like mid to early 2000s Gunpla and not modern Gunpla. Like modern Gunpla polycaps are fine, but anything like before 2004, it can be hit or miss, and it's usually miss. So it is really satisfying when you get one and it's a good hit. Also, how is my face tracking doing? Not the best. Whenever I trim, my face tracking doesn't do the best because the AI for Razer gets really confused. It's only 1/8 of an inch, but apparently that's enough. C9. I can't find the C. Can't tell what, like, even though they're colored in, they don't really feel like they're the color that's shown. Hold up. F5. E1. F4. F4, that's what Starscream transformed. No, what does that Starscream transform into, actually? An F. Is it an F15? I think it's like a weird one. Like, it's not an F14 or F16, which are more, like, commonly represented. I think it's like an F15, which is slightly less represented in media. Ooh. Original Starscream, mind you. I think it transforms into, like, an... It's either an F14 or F15. I can't guarantee you on that. And... a minute. These pieces has a hell of a lot more sprues than I would have thought. But at least in the early game of this, that's gonna hold things back. Also, C looks dark as hell. This is C, chat. That is way lighter than the E's we've been working with. But it's C19, which implies that there's a C2, which I do not want to find. And that's that assembly. So that's the shoulder assembly, so let's get that cut up. This guy is going to be a lot bigger than I expected. I thought he'd be slightly taller than a high grade, but it looks like he's going to be really right between a high grade and master grade, it's feeling like. So it's probably going to be like a real grade, not real grade. It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like the size of the new Gundam or high new Gundam. Maybe a little taller than that, but I think that's probably where he's going to end up in size, is what I'd have to guess. I just remembered in the Transformers movie how, like, everyone remembers that, you know, Optimus dies, and it's really sad. But what's hilarious in that film is like half an hour later, Ultra Magnus literally blows up. Ultra Magnus holds up the matrix of leadership and goes like, "It is our darkest hour, and I'm the leader now." And then nothing happens because he's not a prime, because he doesn't have he's not worthy to be a prime, I guess. You know, suck it, Ultra Magnus. But everyone just shoots him on the Decepticon. Sorry, on the, is it the Decepticons that they're fighting at this point, or is it, it must be, Unicron's guys. I think it's actually a mix at this point. No, I think, Galvatron has re-established control of the Decepticons at this point. But, like, he's just standing in the open with his arms up over his head holding, you know, the Matrix of Leadership, pretty much just saying, "Come and kill me." So they do. They just fly in and shoot him, and his head literally flies off, like we see it. And then, earlier in the film, again, like, Optimus Prime gets shot in the stomach, dies. Ultra Magnus literally gets blown into pieces, and then the Junkticons or whatever, the Weird Al and his gang, I think it literally is Weird Al Yankovic, just come over and just was like, "Wow, that's pretty bad. Let's put him back together." And they just put him back together, and he's alive. It's just... Like, why couldn't they... Like, why did Optimus have to die if you could just literally rebuild them? It makes me think that Optimus just ended himself. He just Minecrafted chat. He was just like, you know what? I'm done with this war. I had Megatron dead to rights. But then this little douche, Hot Rod, gets in the way and gets me mortally wounded. Yeah, we could repair me, but you know what? Instead, I'm just gonna open up my chest and take out my own heart and give it to you. I think Optimus was just done with the war. He is just, I'm over it. Okay, that's confusing. So, these parts are grouped together, chat, because these are the two shoulder assemblies, which would make sense. But then, you have to build the, like, outer shoulder, you have to build the shoulder pads first. So, like, I think it's, like, trying to say, like, oh, hey, you can do these in whatever order you want. But it just makes it more confusing. So we're gonna do the next shoulder instead of moving on to the shoulder pads. Fuck. Sorry for cursing, but I just did something I'm not supposed to do, and that is use the good sprue cutter to cut these parts. I do like how Starscream finally gets to be successful in being, you know, a little Weasley bastard and kills Megatron. Only for like a day. I don't even think it's a day. It's like half a day later. Megatron just comes back, and now he's voiced by Leonard Nimoy, and he's just like, Starscream, you suck, and you're never gonna be leader. And it's like, but I am leader. No, you ain't. And it just blows him away. He just kills Starscream on the spot, which is so satisfying, because after all the machinations of Starscream just being the littlest piece of crap imaginable, watching him just get absolutely destroyed finally for his, like, treacherous ways is admittedly a little satisfying. Ooh. It's kind of like watching an abusive relationship where, you know, the other party finally strikes back. So to be fair, I think they're already striking at each other way before then. It was already mutually abusive in that relationship. Let's be fair. The plastic's actually pretty good quality. Like, it's cutting off pretty easily. It feels soft and malleable, but not, like, you know, not cheap. And I could imagine cleaning this guy up and cleaning him up wouldn't be too difficult. I don't have any lighter fluid. I know that might sound random if you're a first-time viewer, but I use lighter fluid to clean off the mechs when I use panel liner. Let me see if I can see where my lighter fluid is. It's right over there. So if we do want to use the timing up panel liner, we still can. We need the lighter fluid because it's pretty much impossible to clean up effectively without it. It's just effectively cheap bargain bin paint thinner in this case, but it's holy crap is it effective. And normally it'd be like, well, but it's flammable, so doesn't that include some extra danger? Not really, because normal paint thinner is flammable anyways. Also the fume. Actually, I think the fumes from normal paint thinner are actually can actually be more dangerous than lighter fluid. Ooh. I've never had issues with lighter fluid fumes, but normal ass paint thinner, like that can be dangerous as hell. Like some paint thinners, you have to put on a mask just if you want to get them out. Megatron, why are you being persnickety with me right now? Give me 1 minute, chat. So, the shoulder assembly didn't want to go in. It wasn't out of alignment, it was just a little too tight. Like, it was not even, it was like a 1/4 of a millimeter too tight. I don't even know how to describe it. It It's just popping out a little, but once it's in there, it's in there. That's how you know that it was too tight and not like an alignment issue, because it's still in there. It would be popping out if it's alignment. What was the first? Oh, G2 was the first. I was gonna ask, when was the first time Megatron turned into a tank? It was his revived form in G2. He was a green tank. Ooh. I kind of want them to bring back mass shifting in Transformers, just to hate on the, just to like flex on people. It's like, yeah, this 12-meter tall robot will just turn into, you know, turn into a Walkman. Why not? Just embrace the silliness, embrace the impossibility. Everything has to be so real now in the West, and it's just, it feels so phony for it. Ooh, I can't stand it, chat. Just watching old cartoons, it's just so like, it's literally anything goes. I know cartoons are an extreme example, but that's why I'm using them. Whereas I was seeing like a video where like a guy was doing a hold up of a bank, and when he starts like putting the money, when the guy brings out the money to put like the money in his pockets, he lets go of his guns and they just stay floating in the air as he's just, you know, filling up his pockets, and it's just like, that's so clean. Like, there's a genuine silliness in like the animation itself of just visual gags and whatnot. It feels a lot of times that's just kind of been lost. Yeah, this is the right piece, but it looks very... I'm fairly confused by this. Cut the remaining gates on the blue circles. That gate wasn't fully cut, but that's a... I don't know... It's supposed to go in like this, but then this is pointing out. Hold on. 14 and 13. Yeah, we have 14 and 13 right here. How do you... Oh, wait, no. You align like this. And you go on like this? Ah, okay, I see. Oh, that's under... Okay, that's under gated. No wonder they made extra... Oh, yeah. A lot of these are undergated. No wonder they made point to cut them out. I didn't even catch that. We have a knife. Yes, we do have an X-Acto blade. I think my introduction into Transformers was like... Oh... I would guess it was probably like the Transformers Armada and whatnot is what I'd get. No, actually, wait, no, it's Beast Wars. Beast Wars would have been the introduction, I think, if it came first. I think it did. So I don't remember Beast Wars as much, but to be fair, I don't really remember much of Armada. Ooh. Beast Wars, I do know, was transformative for the series and in many ways revolutionary. Oh, sorry, that's the other shoulder piece. Okay, so we want to put this here. This is, ooh, this is... I think we can we put this on and then this? Yes. Okay. Oh, damn it. Okay, I don't know why you have 4 pegs here, but that's a lot to align on a model. Even if they're close together. I would not have a lot of confidence in reprints of this. Because I'm already having alignment issues. Sadly, this is not from the aligned continuity, so I can't make a joke about that. It is funny, though, how the aligned continuity has, like, of how... Jesus Christ. How Hasbro is like, yeah, we're gonna make, like, literally a continuity that is all in terms with itself. Like, we're gonna make a project work of one continuity, and everything is gonna be aligned. And where it's gonna be so aligned, we're gonna call it the aligned continuity. And nothing in it is aligned. Nothing like, everything is supposed to be a continuation of what came before, and not a single thing in the aligned continuity feels, at least most of the time, like a continuation of what came before. Because you have, like, the War for Cybertron games, and you're like, okay. Then you have Transformers Prime, and it's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, already, these are the same universe? And it's like, yeah, they are. And it's like, but, like, but we see characters in the Cybertronian forms, and they don't look like this. Like, Shockwave looks completely different. It's like, don't worry, we also have robots in disguise. Like, everything looks different again. Characters are behaving differently. Like, it's just, there is no, like, Hasbro's like, yeah, we're gonna, like, Hasbro's really had it up their butt to make a high focus on continuity. And even to the point where, like, they made a multiverse where where Unicron had, like, one singular origin in the multiverse. And then they just dropped it, because after the aligned continuity, they just went, you know what? This is just a bad idea. Like, we can't... We either do not know what the other hand is doing, one hand is not watching the other, or we just don't know, like, how to keep the continuity straight at all in this series. We're just gonna let people make their own works as it goes along. Each show will be its own thing. We'll just have a multiverse that isn't feeding off of itself, because that's just a bad idea, it turns out. D. Let's see here. D24. I'm hoping... Ooh. This shoulder assembly is a little awkward. Because it's kind of just... Like, I'm sure once I get this in, it'll be put together perfectly. Like, a lot of Transformers in their transformations are kind of really wobbly and a little spaghettified midway through. But it's okay, because you know, once you get it all together, it'll be a class act. But it's not there yet. This goes here. And this is, not ideal. Hold up, let's take this off and actually follow the instructions in order. That means this goes here. Gunner, what is going on, buddy? Hello, Neon Wave panel lining Winged Dragon of Rocket. Oh, Winged Dragon of Ra, Yu-Gi-Oh, man. That's also another one of those shows from like the Armada era. Actually, Armada's a little before, but still. Ultra Mega Chicken, man. Was it Little Karibo was the one who made the Abridged series? Really? Ooh. Considering he did that, like, a lot of other Abridged works were, like, group efforts. I think, like, that was his own personal passion project, and he didn't, at least early on, did most of the work himself, which was really impressive if that's the case. And I don't know what we're doing wrong here. Do we have the wrong wing out? Hold up, this is a little... It says 13. This is 14 and 13. I know that for a fact because we can literally check it. But it doesn't feel... It feels like something's wrong here. What is... Okay, so that's just a lie. Okay, I see what it is. So, I was misinterpreting the instructions because they're really, really unclear here because they're so small. But I thought it was supposed to be like something like this, but no, it's just this. It's just the instructions are very, very unclear. Ooh. How long is this take? Oh my god, just to do the show. I mean, we probably had like 10 minutes of talking and prep and whatnot, but still, like half an hour just to do some shoulders. Not the best time. Oh my god, and Gunnar is throwing a fit because he can be completely calm all day, but the moment you start doing something, he's like, I need to just completely, I need to make it all about me, bro. Panel lining, oh, yeah, I already read that part. A bridge was mostly on his own, but later seasons he had actors join. Meanwhile, Team 4 Star split and are a bunch of dicks. And the guys who did GX Abridged had life hit them so hard they. Oh man, that's like, yeah. Dragon Ball Z Abridged, like, it was a funny work, but yeah, they seemingly took none of the lessons they had from working on Abridged into making their own series. To the point where, like, because I understand, like, they're like, okay, you know, like, working on this Abridged stuff, we're constantly getting copyright struck, you know. We're constantly, like, dealing with, like, DMCA hanging over us and all this. And I understand that's, like, very tiresome and you want to go on to do your own thing. No problem with that. But the problem is that they completely failed at doing their own thing. And so they doubled back and are like, well, now we're doing Hiffle or whatever. We're doing like Hell for, like, a Home for Infinite Losers and all this stuff. And like, I was fine with the abridged work because it was a parody, it was fun, but like, I don't know, like the Hiffle stuff kind of made me go like, ooh, this actually kind of feels a little more unethical. Like, this is you using the characters and whatnot, and like, this one actually is like a violation of copyright, like on a moral level. Like, I wasn't really a fan of seeing that, and at first it was like fine because it was, you know, like it was like epilogue stuff. It was like epilogue stuff for like their bridge series, but as it went on, I was like, that's not very great. And yeah, behind the scenes, it doesn't seem like they're the best people, or at least it doesn't seem like Lanny and the other one who still kind of do stuff there, and like make and kind of struggle to like keep the channel alive by doing commentaries and whatnot. It doesn't seem like they were really the best. Oh, hello, Shog Mommy. Oh crap! Does that mean I missed a raid? I'm sorry if I did. Did I miss a raid? I'm sorry. It's hard to see everything from this angle. Wanted to stop by and say hi. I got a lot of work to do before vacation. Gonna lurk for now. Okay. You have a good time lurking, Shog Mommy. This is gonna be a bit of a complex build. And I said I thought he was gonna be, I still think he's gonna be about this size. I think he's gonna be, just like, let's get the size comparison now. I think he's gonna end up being about this size, because even though he has those long legs, let's get out his armor again. We'll actually take a risk and cut this off early, just so we can do a comparison. But I really think, just looking at it, he looks to be about, yeah, he's literally, his knee joint is pretty much exactly the size, his calf is exactly the size as the entry grade new Gundam. So he's probably going to be this big. The only question is he going to be taller or shorter? Canon not included. Well, the thing with Team 4-Star is that they asked for money from the fans in order to do the next season, but instead kept the cash and ditched the project. Did they do that? Fuck, I didn't know they, like, I didn't know that. I thought, like, they always planned not to do the Boo Saga. I didn't know that they asked for money and crap. Jesus, that is that's fucked up. Now they're all gone and gone political and make boring content of each other on of each their channels. Yeah, I know. What's his name? last time, I don't even remember his name, but last time one of them was relevant was when he made like a Char's counterattack parody of Elon Musk, and everyone was just like, "Yeah, this ain't it, Chief. Like this sucks." That's the last one. That's one of them was the last time they were relevant. I know Takahata, though he was not really much of a writer. He was mostly just an actor. I know Takahata's a VTuber now, and he's not political at least. At least somebody got out of that. I know what's his name broke off early. Like they had a manager who kind of went like, "Yeah, this is a shit show," and left early. I know that. They pulled a Phil Fish. I forget who that is. Crap. Elon CA. Ooh. Was it? I don't remember it being that good, but. But honestly, I haven't seen it in a while, so maybe I'm just misremembering it. I'll admit. No raid today. Okay. Well then I feel a little bit. I don't feel as bad for missing it because I didn't miss anything. Just haven't been able to stream for the day. Oh, you weren't. Oh, and I saw you getting on. I guess you were doing a recording, or maybe you just weren't up for going live. But I'm sorry to hear that you weren't able to go live, or you're just too busy in general. This guy is so much work. There's so much going on with this guy. But I'll have to check out the Char's count. I'll have to check out the Char's counterattack again, because I just remember people not being a fan of it. But the masses can be wrong, and I don't remember if I actually even watched it. I will admit. 13. Okay, so we are on step 13. I don't even know. These are elbow joints, I think. Everything is so tiny, chat. They tried to fit so much. Like I thought Bandai is like, you know what? We need to save money. We're not gonna do booklets because that means more paper. You know, we're just gonna have one big sheet of paper and fold it up. You know, but Jesus Christ, when I'm looking at Bandai's instruction manuals for high grades and going like, wow, they really, these are ritzy. You know that maybe you kind of cut a little too many corners, because this stuff is honestly hard to see. Thank God I'm wearing reading glasses. I cannot remember the names after Lanny Pator. I can't remember any of their names, which is impressive, because I remember really liking Team 4-Star, or rather liking Dragon Ball Z Abridged and Hellsing Abridged. I'm having trouble finding the G's again. D1. These are hard to find, chat. These are not the best screws in the world, I will freely admit. D, F, F. It doesn't help that, like, instead of having each one labeled something different, it feels like they're just constantly the same thing. It's not the best. Ooh. What? Also, the colors are not accurate, so you end up looking for the color and then realize it's not the correct... That the color here is not actually accurate to the color you're working with. Let's look here. Let's go to part C. The G2. We need G1 though. G1 looks like this. So we need this. So I don't think I've ever had to go to the guide for sprues to find a sprue before, but it's kind of that much of a problem. Okay, it's the polycap sprues. Ugh. Not the cleanest assembly. Instructions can really make or break a design. No, not a design, but a build, and these are not helping it. So 9. Let's see here. Oh, that's a weird looking polycap. do think Megatron's original design is probably like his peak design. He's had a lot of redesigns. Actually, I feel like he's had more redesigns compared to Optimus. Optimus is always, you know, tall, you know, red and blue, and handsome. You know, that's always Optimus. But Megatron, he kind of goes through the gambit. Like, you have Armada, where he has like the big bad Beetleborg head. You have, of course, the live action, but you have Prime, where he kind of has like kind of a classic design mixed with the live action design, which is also pretty good, I'd say. It's a good mix, if nothing else. Ooh. But something about just having that, like, almost like his, I think it's really his helmet. How he has, like, I don't know what his helmet is, but he has, like, of course, you know, a bit of that, like, Stahlhelm feel with how it kind of curtains around the back of his head. But it's not, but it's, like, also way more angular. Like, I don't know if there's any helmet I can think of that looks like this, but there's something very striking about his helmet, and I think that's just, he looks best when he got that helmet on. I mean, just hearing Char talk about buying Twitter with the same voice as the actual dub, with an audience applauding him, is just funny to me and my local Gunpla. Yeah, I mean, that is... Ooh. That is fair. That Char has been like, yeah, I did this thing. Taking the context is absurdist in and of itself. Considering in the original context, he's literally going like, we're gonna throw some rocks at Earth, bro. We're gonna throw some rocks at Earth. We need to stop war, bro, by committing the worst war crimes. We need E1. Okay, this is the worst instructions. I need to stop harping on them because I think the point has been made that these aren't the best. And it's just dragging things down by harping on it. E11. Okay. There we go. E112. Ooh. Ah, that also fell on the floor. I'll need to grab that. And E18. Jesus Christ, even the order on the sprues aren't what you'd think they are, because normally on a sprue, I feel like these pieces, considering they're conjoined, would be like 8, 9. But it's just... It's not as bad as a Games Workshop sprue. Let's focus on the positives, chat. It's not as bad as a Games Workshop sprue, where they are desperately cutting corners. They're like, we need to save on as much plastic as possible. So, like, the runners themselves will be thinned out. And so that way, we'll be thinned out and flimsy. And this Games Workshop sprues are a mess. Just look them up. Like, they aren't square or anything. They're just trying to fit as much as possible in as little a space as possible. For some reason, it's just, it ain't pretty. It is not pretty looking at a Games Workshop sprue. It's a bad time. Where's one? There's one. Ooh. And now I'm gonna have to go under my desk to grab that, sprue piece that fell off, or whatever. Sweet. Don't fall off again. Okay. Ooh. The real thing I find annoying about these instructions is that because how they're set up, it's very hard to like assemble, to cut out all of the arm and then assemble, which is what I do with Gunpla. because how it's set up, it feels like you have to do it piece by piece a lot more, like it's a master grade, even though it's not. But it just feels like it just makes it a lot more complex than needed. And I feel like that's why it's going so much slower than a normal Gunpla build. Than our typical Gunpla build. Saying normal means that implies that this is supposed to be one. Let's see here, we have... Ooh, that's nasty. Is this angled? It's not angled, thank God. Yeah, this is... Do we have tweezers? Okay. So to get this in, we're going to have to we're going to try to use the tweezers. There we go. Yeah, I forgot. This is something I do now remember about the Starscream model, is the Starscream model had like a similar thing going on where you had very weird polycaps at points. This one? Okay, yeah, this. And you don't really tell me what direction this is supposed to go in, and it's very unclear based on your instructions. I literally have to pick up the instructions and look at them. They're so small that I can't see them properly. This is... okay. So the polycap has to be facing this way for me to put this in. I'm happy I refined my rating system before doing this because... because this will be a good example. Goodness gracious. Of the fact that when I say that, of how like the rating system is going to be like it's going to be a star, half star, or no star for each of the 5 points for like a 5-star rating, and then it's going to be like 1 out of 10 for like a final rating. But like one of the things is just like how well is it to build and whatnot, like accessibility. Crap, I have to deconstruct it because I messed up. That's my bad. I was so focused on trying to get this piece on correctly that I forgot to put on the other polycap. I'll blame myself for that, but this guy regardless would be a 0-star in like the accessibility department. Ooh. Like this isn't even half-starring right now. This is absolutely, for like what it is, for how big this guy is, this is just awful. Ooh. Though I'm complaining about it, I'm not saying like you shouldn't, if you like Megatron, if you like the IDW range, you'd still enjoy building this. It's just don't think it's gonna take as like cleanly as especially a modern day high grade, but even I'd say older high grades, it's not gonna be that clean. It's a better mold, mind you. It's a better mold than old grade high grades, than old high grades, not old grade, than old high grades. It's just that the instructions are not doing this far better mold any favors. Because all the polycaps are going in pretty easy so far. Here, and then we have to do the other elbow. Okay, so I was supposed to assemble both elbows at the same time there. But, chat, I did not know because, do you see that? I don't think you can. I think you literally can't see that. But right there, you will have to go full screen to see this. There's an X2, chat. So I was supposed to assemble both elbows at the same time there. You need to emphasize something like that. My God, I was like, okay, what's the other one? You know, like I didn't assemble them together. I assumed that, you know, that they were directional as one of those kind of deals. No, they just didn't make the instructions clear. It's a rough time. So I've been having already a bit Pretty rough year. Oh, a pretty busy and rough year. We need to get out the G, not G's, we need to get out the E's again. I thought I had out an E already. Oh no, that's C. You're the E's though. Right? E1. E11. Oh, is there another E1? That's confusing! That's so confusing! Why would you have more than one E1? There's no way. I must be getting this wrong. There's more than one E1 now. Why would you have an E1? Why would you have two E1s and then an E... Oh my god. Oh my god. On the bright side, like, his availability's good. He's available. No, wait, no, he's no longer available at Hobby Lobby. He actually has an availability of 0 as well. You might be able to find him, but yeah, IDW's run is done. They're not going to be reprinting this dude probably. So yeah, this guy you're not going to be able to find. So if you want him, get him now, because you're not going to be able to get him in the future. So this is... Really, I think the final assembly is what's going to carry him. And I am optimistic towards it, that even though the accessibility and availability aren't great, I am very optimistic for, like, the mold quality. The gimmicks, I don't think he's going to have a lot of gimmicks, but hopefully he's posable or something. And what are the other two? There's accessibility, availability, but then I had gimmicks, mold quality, and I think I had aesthetics. And I think he's gonna score well on those ones at least. Let's see if he can get above average. And I lost the I think I lost the incredibly tiny polycap. There it is. Yeah, not the best design choice. not the best. Goodness. Let's see here, and then G1. And I remember trying to watch G1 like years ago, and it was a little difficult, I'll admit. Because it's just an old story, man. It's just an old thing where everything's a little clunky. The animation's not always the best. It's just one of those old 80 cartoon shows meant to sell toys, and it was good for its time, but boy, has it aged in some places, and you just have to really appreciate it for its camp. Ooh. Because that's where you're going to get most of your enjoyment from. Though it does have some good serious moments. But those feel a little more few and far between. Am I putting this on right? I have to. And let's actually, before we put that on, let's put this inside here. Ooh. So we don't forget that again. Luckily, it does disassemble really cleanly. So good for you, Megatron. You disassemble very, very cleanly. Though we've only had one example of that so far with this elbow, but despite how tight and firm everything feels, the fact that the elbow came apart that easily without breaking, because these have the connection points are really thin. The fact that it did not come apart, good on the mold. Good on the mold that it did not come apart during that disassembly. Let's put those there. I'm dreading to find out where these screws go, because this guy is not big enough to justify screws. E. That's the polycaps. The E's are right here. So we need, this is another 2 times. I made sure to check this time after getting burned last. But E, 7 and 6. Just gonna You can tell it's pretty nice, soft, nice soft plastic because you're not really hearing the cuts. You're not hearing, like, it falling onto the paper is louder than the nipping itself, which is pretty good sign. Again, the plastic doesn't feel cheap when it's cut, even though it's cutting really easily. But no, we know. I don't want to talk about this model anymore. Cool. I do want to talk about the fact that we are almost certainly done with Kingdom Come Deliverance. I really wanted to like make a series out of it, but I just wasn't engaged with it, and I'd like to apologize for that in all honesty. But if I'm not engaged with it, I can't make you engage with it, so I'm just kind of wasting everyone's time. So I just decided to cut that loose. We'll still like be on theme for February, because we might actually try Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to see, you know, if that works a little bit better. Or we're just gonna be playing like Batman or Breath of the Wild. I don't know. Both those, you know, we can either be the knight of that saves Hyrule, or we can be the Dark Knight. That would stay on theme for February being Knightly month. And why is February themed around knights, you might ask? Well, because we're going to be watching A Knight's Tale at the end of February. And every Gunpla, and actually that's going to be the first month that you guys are going to be able to pick what we're building for Gunpla. So keep your eyes open for, I'd say probably the end of the last week of January. So the late 20s, whatever that is, but probably on the last Friday of the month, or even earlier. Actually, probably even earlier. I'll probably repost it or something. But on the last Friday of the month, you guys are going to be able to start voting for what we're building the next month. And I think what it's going to be, the first lineup, is definitely going to include the Gia and the Gian high grades. Those are two that I'm personally very interested in building, and I think those would be either one of those would be a good way to start out the month. But there will be two other options. It'll be 4 options that you guys will be able to pick from. And those will be the polls will be on Twitter and YouTube. And when we finally get a Discord open, it'll also be open on Discord, which I really want. I feel like I'm gonna try to get that open before the anniversary, just because there's enough interest in it. Can we please align? Yes and no, it seems. Oh, what is wrong with you, buddy? Why are you not aligning? Is it the polycap or is it the mold? I can't quite tell. Jesus. Okay. Hold on. Okay, so maybe I just have the wrong piece. Maybe that's it. I'm gonna assume I just had the wrong piece. No. Wait, yes. Okay. A Knight's Tale, a movie based off of a short story by an influential writer from the Middle Ages. He's in the story, chat. He's a character. 1 minute. I have the Canterbury Tales. Hold the hell up. It's based off of one of the poems from his grander work. It's oh, I had to take it off my. Wait, no, it's right here. The Canterbury Tales by. I have the Canterbury Tales, and that will be our selected reading for next month. We're gonna read A Knight's Tale before we watch A Knight's Tale, but it is the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Actually, I can bring it over. I can bring it over. We're gonna be reading the Canterbury Tales, probably a public domain translation, but we will be reading A Knight's Tale as well. That will be the selective reading. But I am really excited about that. But he's also a character in the movie, which is so fun. I am really excited for that movie. Oh. The movie does have themes relating to the Canterbury Tales. In the fact that, like, it's thematically tied. But yes, the movie is far more of, it's effectively a sports movie. Oh, I hate how that happens. It's a sports movie that just simply takes place in the Middle Ages. That's why it opens up with, you know, I think We Will Rock You is like its opening number, because it's literally going, this is a sports movie. Understand this is a sports movie. Everything that's happening here is in the context of the Middle Ages, but it's still a sports movie, okay? But it's one of the best sports movies I've ever watched. Into the context as a sports movie, it's pretty peak, I'm not gonna lie. But there's so much going on with that movie, and it's actually like, it's so good. But I do love the themes of pride and pride in the film, because a lot of the characters have sins, because a lot of the Canterbury Tales themselves is about the flaws of people in the stories, and how I think it's like the knight is supposed to, like, you know, be exalt the ideals of like chivalry and nobility and whatnot, you know, but all of these stories are supposed to like have different characters with their flaws and what have you, and they kind of incorporate that concept into A Knight's Tale by having, at least with the main character and his rival, pride be kind of their sin, but at the same time it shows how Thatcher's pride can be a good thing. It can lead him to do self-destructive things, yes, but overall it's a good thing because it makes him strive to live up to his ideals, you know. His pride holds him to account for his actions, but he's also not so prideful that he would forgo, you know, his love and those kind of things, because he actually forgoes his pride and goes like, I'm going to lose this tournament because, you know, the girl I'm interested in was like, you know, if you love me, you know, you won't win, you'll lose, because, you know, you're so attached to your pride. And he's just like, okay, I'll do it. And then right before, like, and then like halfway through the tournament, I love how in the movie she just sends a messenger to him, and it's just like, what did the messenger say? It's like, well, if you truly loved me, you would lose the tournament, but if you really love me, you'll now come back from behind and win the tournament. And so he just dominates the tournament because he just gets really pissed. Oh god, I love that movie. Actually, if I can, my brother will be joining us for that movie because we both really, really love that movie. And I also love watching movies with him in general, so I'm also looking forward to that. My brother Meyer. Ooh. See here. Oh my god. I'm looking at this right now, chat, and I am lost. I am so lost looking at these instructions. Luckily the red is gonna be easy to find, but I'm just trying to figure out where are we. 16, okay. So we just built... I don't even know what we just built. What did we just build? What is this? What is this? Because we just built this thing, but now we're moving on back to the elbows. This is the shoulder. The instructions. But on the point of pride, the pride of the main character, in both its positives and negatives, is contrasted by the antagonist, who's just a dick. Who's just the biggest asshole ever. And where Thatcher wishes to live up to his ideals, his dreams and whatnot, and his pride is what keeps him going. It is what, you know, makes him confident enough to do what he's doing. The villain, who's what is called the Dark Knight, because I can't really remember the hell his actual name, but like that dude, which is actually confusing because you also have the Black Prince of Wales in that movie, but let's not focus on that. We're gonna focus on that in a second, but the antagonist is so good because he's just unearned arrogance. He's just a noble-born a-hole, and how it's introduced is so great because when he's putting on his armor, he's getting like his squires reading off to him. Yeah, he is Sir Douche-a-lot. He is Sir Douchebag. He is Sir Douche Canoe. But when his squire is reading off to him, you can see his squire his arm is like stretched out, so you know, like he's pretty much T-posing, so his guys can put armor on him. But while he's putting the armor on, you can see that his squire is standing like almost half an arm's length an extra distance away from him. Okay. Oh. Standing like that little bit of extra distance, and he's kind of like leaning back from him as well. And he's like, he has a very guarded body language. And then we see that's because the moment, while the guy's getting his armor put on him, one of the other squires, or whatever they are, puts on, like, I think his gauntlet, no, his brave, or whatever it's called. This thing that goes here, not the gauntlet's the glove, but this part on too tight, and he just, like, looks at it, and he just back fists the guy, like, not backhand, he just hits the guy hard, because he's just like, you put it on too tight. He doesn't say that, he just hits him without a word, and it's just like, oh, this guy's just a dick. Like, it's so nice, that movie. Like, it just communicates that immediately to the audience, like, this guy, we should hate him, he's just an a-hole. But it's like foreshadowed again through his the guy who's like reading off for him, you know, being again that a little bit keeping distant, being guarded, you know, the body language, it's on point. Another way this is communicated that he's an a-hole is how when he's talking, I think his first interaction with the love interest of the movie, while he's talking with her, you can actually see like his squire guy. It's not a squire, but whatever the hell the guy is, like his servant. Let's just say his servant, because that's going to be way more accurate. His servant is just standing in the background with a falcon on his arm. Like he's just a falconeer for that shot, and it's like, why is he just standing in the background with a falcon? Well, it's like, well, firstly, it's because so the villain can just probably wanted to show off his falcon, but thematically, it's because it's just to show that this guy is just a predator, effectively. Like he's looking at the love interest not romantically, but more as this quarry to catch. Like that's all he's doing. Is those little things that just reinforces. Like, the movie's actually really well made if you pay attention. And that just makes it even more impressive. Because, again, it's just a silly sports movie. But it's just, they took their time. How they recruit the blacksmith is they literally play on her pride. They're just like, oh, hey, they said you ain't shit. Like, it's like, yeah, we want to get a repair from you. But, like, these guys said you weren't shit. So I guess we'll just go somewhere else. And she's like, hold up. I'm the best blacksmith there is. Give me that shit. Let's see. I've misplaced one of the polycap screws. Give me a minute. Here it is. Let's see here. So we're gonna try, as we're learning more about this, to get things built a little faster, but I'm at this point a little worried that we might actually have to do a pickup day even on Sunday to get this guy done. Ooh, hold up, I put that on wrong. That was my bad. But no, did I? No, it looks like I didn't put it on wrong. But putting it in there first is actually the fool's way of doing it. Is it? Wait. Oh, that's ugly. Actually, we do have to put it in here first, but they made it. Do you realize you're spoiling the movie for those who have not seen the film, right? I don't care, man. Dude, when I do watch-alongs, I spoil the hell out of the movie. I will literally be like, oh, this scene's so good because later on in the movie. I love the movies, man. Oh, my God. I will spoil the hell out of The Thing, my favorite movie. Cheap viewers on stream. Shut the hell up, bot. We might have made a mistake here. I think these pieces are all identical, so we're just gonna like wing it real quick and hope that we haven't made a horrible mistake. But this all right here is all very loosely put together, and I hate this right now. Because when this all comes together, it's gonna be firm, it's gonna be tight, it's gonna be wonderful, chat. But right now, this is trash. Let me tell you right now, chat. This is trash. Like, these are not coming together cleanly until they are actually assembled. Ooh. Oh god, which is especially a problem because the polycat. Okay, like that It's really nice. It's really tight. That's really good. But that could have gone really bad. Ah, stupid bot. Okay, let's do the other arm now. Also, there's a lot more to the movie, so don't worry. Like in the watch along. Also, the watch along is a real far away. But I love that movie. It's easily, I think it's probably my favorite sports movie. And then again, I can't really name a lot of sports movies. Ooh. I also like how it's not only based off of the Canterbury Tales, or influenced by the Canterbury Tales, let's say, but it's also inspired by Ulrich von Liechtenstein. Now, if you don't know who Ulrich von Liechtenstein is, that's firstly the alias that the main character uses, William Thatcher, because he's not nobility, goes by Ulrich von Liechtenstein to, you know, give himself this foreign name because he's like jousting in England. So it's like, oh, nobody's gonna recognize like a German name, and he gives himself this name as an alias. However, Ulrich von Liechtenstein is a real person in history, and Ulrich von Liechtenstein actually rode throughout Europe doing jousting tournaments with a woman in a wedding dress on his helmet. And the reason he did this is because he wanted to marry a woman, and he's like, I'm gonna marry you, and I'm gonna prove myself worthy to marry you by going throughout Europe and literally winning every jousting competition I can. I am the best jouster to ever live, and I'm gonna show you that you ain't gonna get nobody better than me. I am the best. And he did. well, literally, he just destroyed people on the back of a horse. He just jousted and destroyed his competition with, again, a woman in a wedding dress on top of his helmet. This dude was literally adding insult to injury to everyone he beat just to impress a woman, which is why his name is chosen for the movie. Ooh. So clean. There's so many clean things throughout that film. Because they could have just given him a made-up name, but no, they gave him a real name of a real jouster in history, just so it would reinforce their themes in the film. They knew what they were doing. They were cooking. And then people would come up to you and be like, "But it's not historically accurate." But it's not historically accurate. What is wrong with you? It's not historically accurate. You were not paying attention to the film. It's not meant to be historically accurate. That's like watching Air Bud and going, a dog couldn't do that. Shut the hell up, not historically accurate. That's not accurate to what a dog would never be allowed. That's not accurate to basketball. No referee would ever allow a dog to be an extra member on a team. Shut up. Just shut up and get out. Them playing Queen music is actually dumb, because that's not like, that takes you out of the setting. No, them playing Queen music is brilliant because it gets you in the mood for the fact that it's a sports movie and you're not paying attention, bro. Okay? Because they actually frame it in the movie when the music We Will Rock You dies down. They actually they're showing a bunch of peasants and whatnot also while the song's playing with their shirts off. Which wouldn't be accurate at all, but is again to convey the fact that this is a sports drama. But and all this stuff, all the crowd going wild. But when it dies down, it actually pans over to a guy on one of those horns or whatever, one of those horns. And as he's putting it down is as the music dies down. Him stopping blowing into it is the music dies down with that. So it's conveying in the film, no, We Will Rock You is not actually playing in the movie. What's happening is we are using a modern sports song, a modern song that is associated heavily with sports, to get you to understand the vibe and feel of this time period. This was their football. This was their, their sport of their day. This was their, oh my god, I want to watch people give each other concussions and life-ruining, breaking of their, tendons and bones and stuff. I want to watch shit that's just brutality, and maybe we shouldn't be, cheering for people, giving themselves an early grave. You know, it's like going up to a boxing match. You're like, oh my god, this is so uncivilized. But also, that dude just gave that guy a concussion. He ain't gonna walk straight for the rest of his life. Oh, I should feel bad about that, but I'm really into it. Am I a bad person? Nah, this is just good sport. Actually, that reminds me of a football player who actually retired early because he was just like, because he kept getting concussions and like bad concussions, and his he kept getting like really bad concussions, and he was actually one of the ones who was just like, you know what? I get like 2 or more of these concussions, I'm not gonna be able to I'm just not gonna be able to walk when I'm 50 years old. So I'm just gonna retire. Like I've gotten like tens of millions of dollars per month. Like I've gotten like literally hundreds of millions of dollars for like working a few years. I'll just go on the practice team, get paid still millions of dollars, and I'll just, and then I'll just retire. Like, it's cool, bro. It's cool. I'm done. Oh god. A lot of people are just like, no, I need to stay in the sport for as long as I can. It's like, you need to know when to call it, dude. You need to know when to tap out. Ain't no shame in tapping out. Ain't no shame in being like, I want to be able to remember the faces of my grandchildren when I'm, 80 years old. I want to make it to 80 years old so I can see my great-grandchildren, That's not unreasonable. That's very reasonable to be like, yeah, I'm tapping. I'm out. I want to live to see my grandchildren and hopefully my great-grandchildren. Let's see here. These were black, so yeah, B for black because we need to find the B spruce. So it's B1. And it looks like there's going to be 2 B1s? No, there's only 1 B1. There's only 1 B1? Wait, no. Yes. No. It's B2. I was wrong. But there are 2 B2s because this is an... Just make them a different name. For God's sake. Make them a different name. Oh, God. What was the idea behind the Gyan in-universe for Gundam? It always struck me as a little weird that, like, if it was an experimental mobile suit, I could understand it a little more, but it always struck me as a little weird that, like, Zeon just went like, yeah, here's this mobile suit. It's like, it kind of is poo-poo dot, like, it doesn't really have much range option. Maybe it was the idea was, like, as the Federation was making more mobile suits of their own, they're like, well, we need more close range, like, interpersonal dueling mechs. And then they kind of just realized, yeah, no, we didn't. No, we really don't. We really don't need this. I should delete that post from the bot, but I just don't care. But I should be better on that in the future. I should care. Because you guys, don't click on that. Clicking on that is bad. It'll probably give you a virus. It'll give your computer electronic herpes. Don't do it, bro. Okay? You'll get hepatitis, bro. Don't do it. You get electrotitis, bro. Don't do it. It's not good. Ain't good for you. Ooh, speaking of movies. A movie... I don't know how we'd ever justify a watch-along for this movie, but I'd also be able to do a watch-along for almost said a Knight's Tale again, for The Mummy, with Brendan Fraser. Oh, God. The 90s and early 2000s was what, like, Hollywood was trying to find out what's the next big thing, and you get a lot of, like, these really fun and or good and or both movies in that era. But one of the things that Hollywood experimented with was the adventure film, trying to bring it back, trying to see if you could have a little bit more adventure films again. And a lot of them didn't succeed, but like, you have Pirates of the Caribbean is one good adventure film, but also just another really fun adventure film, if nothing else, is The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. It's just embracing the fact that it's campy and silly as hell. Ooh, and people, again, the problem is that people look at it and take it seriously. They'll be like, this movie's silly. I can't take it seriously. It's like, yeah, that's the point. It's meant to be a silly film. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good elbow bend. It actually, yeah. It can't bend that's pretty solid actually. It's as much as you'd want it to be, and for its mold. Again, though the instructions don't do it justice, the mold is really good. It feels really good. The plastic feels really good. It feels a lot better than Starscream, I'll say that right now. I've messed it up a little. Starscream was a little bit of a mess in parts, I will admit. He was a fun build, but I think he had more polycap issues, though, to be fair to good old Screamy. Oh shit, I just realized, well, no, I was like, I could have put these on the wrong side. No, it doesn't matter. Because these arms are right now interchangeable up until this point. But now we have a left and right arm. So this is the left, wait, no. This is his right arm, this is his left arm. Just think of it stage left, stage right. Oh, but we have a bit of a mold issue. Something isn't connecting properly, and I don't know why. But you can... This one came together perfectly fine, but this one has a... It's not joining in right here, so let's... Why? I see why? I think I see why. I see why. Okay, so the problem is, again, it's a little too tight, the mold, with itself. Normally, that's to its benefit, because everything kind of comes together real snug. But there are just parts where that snug becomes tight. We just need to... Yeah, there we go. It's not hard to fix at all. You just have to rotate it a little. What? And with this, we might honestly be almost done with the arms. Got an hour and a half just for the arms. That's a while. And then, see here. Oh no, we're not even close to done with the arms. Holy crap. But that's gonna be F. Sorry. Sorry for being so surprised. F5. 7 and 8, so 7 will go here, 8 will go here. Let's make sure we get this right. As it's getting more assembled, it is easier to tell things apart just because the instructions themselves have to get bigger to reflect that. So that is something nice. Like, you need more room to show the arm and whatnot. God, another watch along I'm so excited for is in June. I think it's gonna be the last, or no, it's gonna be the 3rd week of June. We're gonna have just a week dedicated to John Carpenter's The Thing, and we're gonna finish up the week by watching The Thing. And the reason is because it's the 1st week of summer, and John Carpenter's The Thing takes place during the 1st week of winter. Which you might think makes no sense, because that's the opposite. However, chat, that's actually the fun part. Because it takes place during the 1st week of winter in the southern hemisphere, which is the 1st week of summer in the northern hemisphere. So winter and summer are switched in the hemispheres. So we'll actually be watching it, so we'll be watching it on point for the 1st week of winter in the southern hemisphere. So that'll be like June 22nd through like June 29th, I think. Will be that week, or actually be like 26, because it's the 22nd would be the Monday, I think. I'm really hyped about that one. That's my favorite movie of all time. I'm probably gonna give an open invitation for anyone else I know to join me, but I don't care if they join me or not. I could commentate on that movie all by myself all day. Let's see here. This looks so much darker in the instructions than it really is. I need to double check my year resolution, my resolution document. Especially because I need to see what movies I was planning to do watch-alongs for this year, because there's also... Am I taking crazy pills? Or did I cut these out and put them on the wrong side? I don't think I did. because we're also doing... There we go. I know in May we're doing Empire Strikes Back. I'm also looking forward to that one. Because we did A New Hope last year. We did... Ooh, that looks really damn good. We did A New Hope last year, so it's definitely Empire Strikes Back this year. We'll do Bounty Hunter for the game, for like the game we'll be playing with definitely Bounty Hunter. I got a lot of things planned, and I like the fact that just having at least things partially planned out. Ooh, those are big hands. Those are bigger than the... He might be a little bit bigger, or he just has bigger hands. No, he has bigger hands proportionally as well, but he got big hands. His hands are definitely bigger than the new Gundams. Where did I do with the, there they are. I wish, actually on points of Transformers, I really wish that the War for Cybertron stuff would come over to, or would be re-released, because it's not it's one of those things that like you could buy at one point, but you can't buy anymore on Steam. And I hope that it does get re-released on Steam, the War for Cybertron, because I'd love to do a watch-along with the original Transformers movie, and I think I know somebody who would really enjoy joining me for that. Gonna go. Yeah. You have a great night yourself, man. Ooh. I hope your Ultra Chicken looks good. I forgot to ask it. Man, I should have asked. I didn't really think about it at the time, but if next time I see him, I'll have to remember to ask if he's using this black panel liner or if he's using colored panel liner. If he's using like dark gold, considering the Ultra Mega Chicken is golden. Because I can see, really black panel liner is like the easy one to go with, but with like off-colored darker ones, they're more subtle and they can kind of look better close up, but they don't look as good at a distance. As I can attest to with my Bugu. I love my Bugu. I'm happy I did the Prussian blue for his panel lining, but I will admit it's not as obvious as it would be if he had black panel lining. B26. The B2s are right here. So let's see here. Oh! Okay, we're just gonna cut this directly off the sprue because I'm a little lazy right now. Transformers more than meets the eye. Parts formers less than... Fucking parts formers are... Oh my god. Oh god, parts formers are pretty rough in Transformers when you get a model and it's just like... Oh, dude. You get a parts formers in a Transformers kit and it's just like, yeah, you just have... If it's in robot mode, like here's just, you know... Literally the back of, you know, the vehicle that he transforms into. It's just not... It just is somewhere else. It's like, Transformers you should never have to have extra storage for. Like, Gunpla, I understand. I understand, like, you know, the high grade... Am I doing this wrong? Oh, I cut out the wrong ones. Okay. I was doing it wrong. I was saying, like, why a high grade can't transform. But like a toy twice the size of a high grade, you know, still having parts forming, and it's not a model kit. Like that's a little gross. Actually, I don't think any of these models can transform with the Transformers. I don't think they have any parts forming at all. Ooh. Which, considering... how IDW seemingly designed their Transformers, I think is pretty understandable, because they look like they're a lot more shifting pieces than a normal Transformers would be. Like, they're more... I don't think they were ever intended to have toys, so they're allowed to be a lot more fluid with their designs, is what I'd guess. Oh. Actually, speaking of IDW, it's not IDW, but on the comic side, I need to check out that new Transformers comic. I say new, it's been out for like ever. It's been out since like last year and whatnot, but I need to check it out because I've only heard great things about it. Actually, I saw like a really cool picture because I don't know what happened, but like somehow Optimus Prime got Megatron's right arm. But he's just running around with Megatron's cannon arm. But Megatron like has made his return. I don't know if this has happened recently or if this happened months ago, but he's made his return. But how he makes his return is like his optics are ripped out. It looks so cool. His optics are ripped out and all the wires are like going down his face like kind of like a cascade of tear kind of effect. But his eyes are ripped out, so there's this black voids there now. He's missing his arm. And to see, he has like his head, a cord going from like his head to Laserbeak, who's just sitting on his shoulder. So like how he's piloting around is he's using Laserbeak, his fateful charge, as his literal eyes and well, not ears, but as his literal eyes, which is such a cool concept. And the visual is pretty peak. The visual of Megatron just being like, I have returned, and I'm pissed. I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm pissed. Also, Megatron's like a lot wider in that series. He looks like he's the widest I've ever seen him. He looks so wide. Which I've never really thought about the fact that usually Megatron is kind of a consistent in proportions. He's just a lot of Transformers are consistent in proportion, but like I don't know, he's like that one guy we shot in Red Dead Redemption that I said looked like my dad. He's just a wide fellow. Did I forget a piece? No, but we need to put in the G. We kind of skipped a part, but not really. We need to put in, what was that, G7? And then I think by 2.5 hours we should be about halfway done with this guy, so he's gonna be a little bit longer than a high grade, but I think that's not really due to his mold complexity. That's gonna be more due to his instructions complexity. So that's just how it goes. And then B2. Ugh, sorry. I have a weird discomfort in my diaphragm. Actually, it's in my back. I got like a nick in my back or something. Probably because I'm slightly bending over to cut these out. I need to adjust my chair, have it sit a little lower, that would help it out. But I'm not gonna do that. I'll just suffer. I'm looking at this. Not quite. I cut out the correct one, didn't I? G7 is the one I cut out. Okay. It's just, it doesn't look like G7 in the instructions is all, chat. So... And we need to put it in... I don't think it matters what direction we put it in, but... I'm hoping that'll do fine. Oh, but it will matter to the align... It won't matter to the alignment of this, but it'll matter to this alignment. I'm gonna have to do this off stream a little. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you have told the instructions in kind of a terrible way, instructions, because that's just what you do. What should have happened... Okay, so it did say do this, but it didn't make it clear. I don't like these instructions at all. It should have had it as a separate step to make it more clear. But just... We need to plug this in to this, and this is actually really damn difficult. This is terrible. This is terrible. Now, after we do that, we plug it in to here. So I have to figure out how to get that piece off, because I don't think I'm going to be able to plug it in while it's already plugged in. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the wrist mount on top of it while it's plugged in. So I think I'm just gonna have to put up with it. I'm gonna have to do it off stream though. Not off stream, but I mean off camera. Ooh. Oh, chat! I just remembered. My Kamiyoshi is joining Vidir, and I'm so excited about that. Ooh. I don't know anything about Vidir outside of the fact that it has that, like nature spirit or whatever she is, but I don't know much about Vidir, but I'm like so excited that like she's moving on up and whatnot. I didn't know that Vidir was one of the companies that like accept indies or whatever. Well, I thought it was one of those companies that only does original people, but I didn't really know anything about Vidir, and this was the hand I put on early. So, there we go. I'm so excited about that, chat. And let's see how his range of motion with the hand on is actually pretty good. I've seen Gunpla that actually don't let you fully rotate the hand, even though he has like this part sticking out right here. It doesn't restrict his hand at all, which is very appreciated. Also, great detail in the hands. I feel like you'd want to, like, if you wanted to do this, you'd have to, for panel lining that is, you'd have to like reverse panel line it. You'd have to put the fingers in between digits in gray to make it stand out. Though, considering he's already gray overall, making it look like maybe a gray fabric or intermediary would probably look really good. We're not doing that. On or off stream. Like, I'm probably going to do panel lining on, like, the elbow and whatnot, because that actually is something I can do. Actually, a lot of this, even after assembly, looks like it's going to be pretty easy to panel line. Not as easy if I had done it beforehand, but this elbow is going to be able to be done. This is going to be able to be done pretty easy. But when I'm not going to do the fingers. I don't really panel line fingers unless they're drift panel lining, and this would be a paint job. Looks like we're making the head. I think we'll make the head, the chest, and then we'll do the legs on Wednesday. I think that's pretty good. I think the head had its own screw. It did. Which is very much appreciated. And the eyes were on their own screw. Which Gunpla usually doesn't do because it makes it really easy to lose the eye sprue, so usually they're actually just part of the A sprue nowadays. Not really a point against the model. I mean, I don't think it'd matter anyways. I kind of already let the cat out of the bag that this isn't really getting high marks in assembly regardless, but damn it. Okay, that piece fell on the floor. Let me grab it real quick. I don't know why I just thought of this, but earlier in stream, I'm still surprised that like they did a crowdfunding for the Boo Saga and then never did it, because they were pretty open for like a while that they didn't think that they were gonna do the Boo Saga. So that means they might have like never planned to do the Boo Saga. They might have already like not planned to have done the Boo Saga before that. It's also kind of a real shame that they didn't learn any lessons from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Ooh. Like, they're good at making jokes, but they didn't really learn any lessons to like make a better narrative and whatnot. Which is a shame, because I think they could have probably made something that was fun, either just a fun series if they had locked in. I always want people to succeed. You know, I know what the rest of them are doing, what a lot of them are doing, but even though he wasn't part of Team 4-Star, he was more of just a guest voice who had occasionally provided assistance with other things. But I do wonder on Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge what little Karibo is doing now. Also, these eyes are like hella small. Okay. This is normally normally detailed stuff like this, I'd say I have to do it off camera, but actually, because I have to use the tweezers, I have to do it on camera this time. I have to do it here, because if something happens like what just happened, it's easy to find it on the paper. If it fell on the floor, we'd be here for a while. That's a really small piece. It goes in not very easily. Even if I didn't have gloves on, I still would have been using the tweezers. So, but it looks good. It looks good. I wonder if there's going to be light piping. No. Light piping, for those of you who are unaware, is when you can shine a light through the back of the head of a transformer or other toy, and the light will shine through the front of the face, giving the eyes a glow effect. It's kind of like it's like a cheap way to have a light up feature. Though the fact that his eyes are not clear, but they are colored clear plastic, does mean that he can either easily well, not easily. He has a pretty tight assembly, as we can see inside of his head. There's not going to be a lot of room for it, but you could possibly open up some space for an LED. Or you could even take out the back of the head for modification, which wouldn't look the best. You would want to put in something to like fill up the space, like clear plastic. But you could excavate his head a little to give him light piping. So, because he's more of a high grade in size, you'd probably have a little bit more difficulty in modifying him than you would your typical Transformers toy, maybe. Actually, because he's a model, actually, you'd probably have an easier time because he can literally disassemble him. But there he is. His head looks a little tall to me. I feel like... Hold up. I feel like this is how tall his head... Like, that looks right. That looks how tall his head should be to me. That looks fine. But when you put on the cap on top of it all, it looks tall. It looks pyramid heady. He looks a little awkward. Yeah, it looks a little bit much to me, at least. Maybe when he's all assembled. He looks fine in the shot, so I think it's just the fact that we have the head isolated. There are parts of that in art where, you know, like when you take something that looks good in the overall, you isolate it. It looks a little weird. It looks a little funky. And I'm just going to assume that's what we're dealing with right now. So let's do... Probably... Okay, hold the hell up. What the hell is happening? What am I looking at? I'm sorry to get pissed off immediately, but... Okay, we're gonna stop at this point, because this is the waist. No, this is the waist. What is going on? What am I looking at, chat? Am I taking crazy pills? What is this? What is this? So here's the chest, and then it's like, didn't we have this as 56? What is... Oh, it's the lower torso. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of detail. I'm not used to, with the Gunpla, I'm not used to this much going on in the internals of a chest. Good for you, but holy shit, that is throwing me through a loop. We might stop at the waist. We'll definitely do the upper chest, but we might stop at the waist and then do the rest. Actually, the rest doesn't look too complex. Let's see how this is complex as hell. There's a lot of very small things here that I don't want to be dealing with. But we can start a little early on Wednesday. And the legs are actually deceptively simple. Like, the legs I thought would be like the arms, but because the legs are bigger, they have larger instructions on them, so they are a lot easier to read, I can already tell. So they're gonna go a lot better than the arms, because I already am familiar with the rest of this. I can build the legs both at the same time. In fact, you're supposed to build them both at the same time. It looks like after you're done with the waist, it's really just you build both of the legs. It looks like completely at the same time. Yeah, so that'll actually be a lot quicker than the arms. So that makes me very confident, but we need to do the chest. We need to not get too distracted. We need to finish up on the chest, chat. Let me check something. Let me see if I can get some water. I've gone a bit without drinking. Hydro check. I know Alien is on. I just remembered Alien is on the list for watch-alongs if I ever play Alien Isolation. I heard they're considering doing a sequel for it, which normally would be like, oh, that's cool, but I don't have the most hope for that. Gonna be fully honest. With modern gaming, like, none of the people who worked on the original are going to be working on the new one, probably, and it's like, oof. Oof, you want at least one person, you know? Just having one person who was there on the original can do a lot for something. Take Halo Infinite, for example. Halo Infinite is a lot better than, like, the previous Halo. Like, it had a horrible release, but that's Bonnie Ross, which is... Bonnie Ross sucks. But we're not talking about Bonnie Ross. But, like, narratively speaking, like, story-wise and, like, campaign-wise specifically, they brought back Joe Staten to help with the development of the game in that regard, as well as this other things, but they brought back Joe Staten to help with the story and getting it refocused, because they kind of made, like, an impossible to defeat villain in Halo 5. They made Cortana, like, a fragment of Cortana go evil, and then literally have control over all technology in the universe. And it's just like, okay, hold up, you kind of wrote yourself into a corner here, buddy. I'm not gonna lie. So they kind of just in Halo 5 just goes like, yeah, that's no longer a thing. We're just gonna solve that off screen. Ooh. You hear G2? But they, like, refocused the story. They made it about kind of like the classic themes of, like, a one-man army, you know, fighting against the odds. And Halo Infinite is really fun. I wish I could play the campaign on stream, but the optimization for the game is doo-doo poo-poo, to put it lightly. The optimization is just doo-doo poo-poo, chat, because of course it is. It's a modern game. Why optimize your game? Why optimize your games for PC? It's not like, you know, it's not like freaking PC is more relevant than ever before, and consoles are weaker than they've ever been. No. Well, optimization, what's that? But the okay, so that's not going on until everything's assembled. Got it. But it does not play nice with VTube Studio. It's the loading screens in particular. Of all things, the game runs fine. The loading screens will cause your computer, if you have other things going on in the background, to not like freeze up, but it will cause problems, chat, to put it gently. And VTube Studio can literally not run with will literally break down. It will have to be restarted multiple times. I don't know if that would happen in the if I play the campaign. It's the multiplayer loading screens that it happens with, but I just haven't really been up to test if that's also true for the campaign. Also, I haven't gotten that far in my playthrough of Halo yet. I don't think we have started Halo 3 yet. I still want to do lasso. That was something I said I wanted to do when I debuted. I want to do lasso, and I still want to do lasso with people. But like lasso, firstly, I need to know more people. But lasso, I need to like pick. You can't just jump into lasso with a bunch of like with just randos, with just people who are there for fun and whatnot. Like it's gonna be fun, but you need to pick your team carefully for lasso. You need people who are willing to play their part in lasso. If you pick 5 people who are all like, oh yeah, like I'm just really good at FPSs and can run point, you're gonna die a lot. You need people who are willing to. You need pretty much at any given point. You need one person who can run point, who's willing just to go out and die a lot, but also get progress and like just take those risks. But you need one person for support, and you need one person who can be like multi-role, at least. You need at least 3 people for it to run smoothly. Actually, 3 people is actually probably better than playing 4 people, because you have... Because 3 people, you kind of so in Halo, the more people you have doing multiplayer, co-op, the more enemies you have. It actually changes how the AI works as well. And actually, it becomes a little more difficult with 4 people than 3 people, so it's actually more optimal to play with 3 people. I'll still probably try to find a 4th person, but that's something actually I learned in Lasso when I played it with friends, is when we lost our 4th guy, it actually became a lot easier. Not because he was like dead weight or anything, but simply because there was one less person to die. Like, there's one less person to die and reset us. But you need to have a rounded team. And luckily for me, I don't need to find somebody who can do support, who can, just be dedicated to killing grunts and taking off the armor of people using a plasma pistol. I don't need to find that, because I can completely do that myself. I can dedicate myself to, like, running support. But I need to find somebody who's really good at running point, and I need to find somebody who is good at, good at just kind of picking off, and somebody who's good for the in-between. I just need to find some people who are good for those two. But the thing is also, Halo's an older game, so some people, I know it's kind of weird to say Halo's an older game at this point, but Halo is an older game, so it's also kind of hard to find people who are like, oh yeah, I'm up to do that. I'm up to do one of the things that's famously one of the most difficult things in gaming for fun. But Lasso is so much fun once you get through it. Like, once you get through, like, the annoying phase of it, of just being like, once you understand that, it's just a game, and you're going to be there for a while, that you might play for, 3 hours and not beat a level, which means you have to restart the level next week. Once you accept that's a possibility, you're actually going to be making progress a lot better. You just can't take it too seriously, because you're gonna get anxious and you're gonna make mistakes. The secret to doing Lasso is you just accept you might not get through it today. If you only have an hour and a half to play the game, you probably aren't gonna complete you might not complete the level. Don't get me wrong, there were some Lasso levels we completed in like 45 minutes, which might not sound like a short amount of time, but in Lasso, that is sprinting. But you have to be ready to just take it piece by piece. If you die, just go like, I'm dead. You say you're dead. You should say you're dead before, like, as soon as you die, say you're dead. The reason you want to do this is because it will take a little bit for the game to load, to like reload itself, because it's an older game. So it'll take a second for it to reload itself. So you just want to say, I died. So that way, when everything gets reset, everyone's like, they're not surprised by it. They're not like, doing something they're about to get really happy because they're about to achieve something. No, I died. Everyone can just stop and be like, okay, and wait for the respawn. Mind you, this is only like, you die and then like 1 second later, you respawn, you reset. But you still don't want to, like, you just want to tell people you're dead. You just want to be on top of that so people aren't surprised. Also, having done Lasso before is also a great benefit because I can just run people through things that just make the growing pains of playing through it. You know, those frustrating early times you're playing the game, I can smooth those out with people. Hello, Shadow Gale. Oh, you must have just gotten here. Howdy, Merrick. I've been setting into work. How's the figure going? Oh, I thought you. Ooh. I thought you were on Eastern time. Because I thought, oh, or maybe your work starts earlier than I thought. Because I thought it started at like 12. Ooh. By the way, I'm setting up the mod pack for our Terraria playthrough. It's a simple, lightweight. Okay. Do I need to get a mod pack? I have not been informed of this. We are doing a collab with her tomorrow, but do I need a mod pack or does only the host need it? I don't know how those things work. I know in Minecraft you don't. Wait. Yeah, in Modcraft only the host needs it, but that's because it's running on a server. But I don't know how Terraria does it. It's at 11. Okay, so you are Eastern time. Okay. We're most of the way for the build today, because we're just gonna stop probably halfway through the chest at most. We're gonna do his lower. We're gonna do his abdomen as well. You'll help me set it up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ooh. I'll try to get some of my chores done early tomorrow so I can be more available for you to help me out. Usually I do my chores before stream. Let's see here. I'll do them first thing in the morning instead. On stream? Oh god, you want the scuff. You want it to be scuffed as hell. I'm having a hard time finding. I've been going over this a lot on this stream, but this model has not the best sprue setup. Its weakest point is easily its instruction manual. It's a great mold though. The plastic quality and whatnot still good. It's the IDW Megatron. It's when he's still the Decepticon leader. Ooh, actually, can we, I said can we, but I just realized a really cool feature of it is, so as you can see here, they actually have the details on his chest engraved so we can panel line that instead of using the awful stickers. But my question is, where is his Decepticon? Why is that red? Why is that red like the Autobots? Hold up, does he have... Is this actually the Autobot version? I thought it said the Decepticon... Okay, so it's blank, which is actually the worst thing for me, because I was hoping we could... It was going to be... I was really hoping it'd be engraved so we could panel line the symbol, but we're going to have to use a sticker, sadly. Oh, I thought Starscream was your husband. It's okay, they're an abusive couple. They probably come together. I know he has a whole redemption arc. I never got to read the IDW, I'll be frank. I never got to read it, sadly. But I know he has a whole, like, redemption arc. Like, he kind of realizes that the ideals he started the revolution for aren't what, like, people are fighting for anymore. That the Decepticons that he started aren't the ones that are, like, the current thing. Like, I do know that. Like, he pretty much goes like, wait a minute. He takes a step back and goes like, wait a minute. This is not what I intended. I do know that. And so he gets like a little disenfranchised and he eventually like joins up with the Decepticons, which has a mixed reaction from the Decepticons themselves, of course. You have a harem. Oh god. You would know this better than I do. What's like peak Megatron? Because I thought he was pretty good in Transformers 1. But like where would you say like but that's more like complex character. Where is he like peak just like I am just what you think of when you think of Megatron? Where do you go? Is it the classic Megatron where he's just kind of evil and loving it, just bumming around, getting drunk off of Energon? Which is like getting drunk off of water. How do they get drunk off of Energon? Was it like spiked? I'm asking way too many questions way too quickly for chat. But what's like peak Megatron? Like when is he? What's peak Megatron in like the grand scheme of Megatron? G2. Wait, G2. There's a G2. Oh, there's a G2 chat. Peak Megatron, G1, and yeah, G1. Ooh, is just like the starting point. He is evil and loving it, but I do like how any Megatron that's actually like can be deceptive, I do love. Any Megatron who's actually like, you can kind of see like, okay, like this guy's a little bit of a sneaky boy. I do like that because when Energon is complicated. Well, Energon and the whole like Armada era and whatnot, because we'll just group that all together. It's kind of like several shows crammed into one. It's kind of like judging him, I feel, almost like based off of... It's like judging the Prime version based off of like... I don't even think he appears in Robots in Disguise, but like also Robots in Disguise. It's like, that feels complicated, so you just keep him to one. But... G1, he's just the classic evil and love it, but like I do love how he just tricks when he sees that Optimus Prime has lost his memories, he doesn't go like, oh hey, you're easy to kill now. He's like, hold up. I can use this to my advantage. And it gives a reason why, you know, Optimus isn't just, you know, taken out immediately. And it's actually a pretty good reason. Like, again, because Megatron's like, hold up, this is, I can play this to my benefit. And of course, Starscream, who's like exiled at the time, comes on board and he's like, hold up. What are you doing here, like Optimus? And it's like, why are you calling me Optimus? I'm Orion Pax. I'm fighting for my friend. And it's just like, oh, you think he's your friend? The one... Even when he's not part of the Decepticons, Starscream ruining the day for him. But if you ask me, I adore Season 1 Earthspark Megatron. He's a Southern great. Yeah, you've said that Earthspark has a really solid one. I love, actually, speaking of like the deceptive angle, the fact that like Megatron, I was actually thinking of that when I said like I love it when Megatron is like able to, like, you can see how he's the leader of the Decepticons and how the Decepticons got their name when he's being deceptive, and we see a little bit of that in Prime, but in animated, he's just ahead. So he has to literally throughout the entire first season just BS his way into like not being found out by the Autobots. And I do love that. He turns on and he's like, what's going on? Where's my body? What's going, like, I'm just ahead right now. And he's like, oh dude, the Autobots are here? Oh my god, this is my own personal hell. But he doesn't, like, in a lot of other versions of him, he'd immediately be like, I hate you, human, how dare you imprison me? But he's immediately like, hold up. I have no power in this situation. And this guy thinks I'm an Autobot, which I hate, but I'd hate more if the Autobots found me. And this guy thinks that, like, he's built his technological empire off of the corpse of one of their friends. So let me lean into that. So it's just like, you wouldn't want him to find out, like, I'm here. Like, that would be a betrayal of him. So, like, how about we keep it a secret I'm here, and we can build me a new body in the meantime. Like, we'll build me a new body, and then we'll unveil the fact that, like, hey, look, I brought back your friend for you, buddies. That would be cool, right? By proxy, Sari is Megatron's daughter. That is true. By proxy, she is a bit of his daughter. What am I'm looking for... These instructions are just... have a lot to be desired, but... It looks like it's the same color as this, so it's gonna be one of the dark gray pieces. Here it is. I also like it when he's, it's just a scene that's always kind of made me find it funny, but the Constructicons, how they pretty much freelance for, like, their first few introductions. Like, their first 2 to 3 episodes, they're just freelance, you know, bumming it around, which is interesting. But I do like this when Megatron recruits them so that he can build a space bridge. Ooh. It was I'll get to that in a minute, but I'll get to the whole cancellation and stuff. It is a shame. At least it had like an understandable end point. Like there's more story that could have been told, but it is an organic ending point still for where they ended it. But I do like just him recruiting the Constructicons. I just always love the fact that he has like, so they're drinking out of like barrels of oil, you know, just like, you know, like they're just like they're beer cans. Meanwhile, Megatron is holding a barrel that's been twisted around like it's a wine glass, and he's holding it like a wine glass, and it's just like, he's just being just this classic mustache twirling villain while he's recruiting them. And he's just like, yeah, so like I can just give you all the oil you ever need, buddy. Just come over to the Decepticon cause. And it's like, but we'd have to betray our friend. Nah, dude, nah. We just building a space bridge. They can use it too. Come on over, buddy. Just being evil as hell. Yeah, Tomoe Omari is joining Vidir. Oh, yeah, Hasbro canceling. Oh, God. I was actually thinking earlier today how Transformer shows like get like 2, maybe 3 seasons and then get canceled. They're not allowed to get like a 4th season, it feels like, ever. They don't, you know, they're not allowed to get so successful that they drive themselves into the ground and have to be canceled that way. They never get that like conclusion. They always get like, they always build themselves up and then you're like, yeah, this is gonna fly, and then just Hasbro just comes with this, Hasbro just comes with the golf clubs and just breaks their knees and goes like, you're not going anywhere, you're canceled every time. Oh, they do catcall vehicles. They do that. That's... I forgot about that. They're just going, hey, honey, nice fender. Woo-wee. Is that a new spoiler I see? Woo! Vidir, yeah, I'm subscribed to another person, but I can't remember it. But Vidir's a company, and I thought it was one of those, like, I thought it was like Hololive or Phase Connect, but I guess it's more like a Vshoujo where they recruit independents into the company. I do know I was talking about it early. Who do you think I was talking about earlier? If you weren't here. If you weren't here, never mind, but I was talking about it earlier, how I'm really excited for her joining up. I actually reposted it on Twitter when I saw it. I'm so excited about that. I don't know what it means. I don't really know what it means, but I'm always excited for an Oshi, you know, going on to bigger and better things. That is true. Hasbro can't, because I think, wasn't the original Transformers series also 3 seasons? Ooh. Why are sequel series of Transformers so often just absolute ass, or just not as good as what came before at the very least? You were here but Larkin? Yeah. Ooh. Honestly, Tomoe Omari deserves success. She's amazing. She's wonderful. She's great. She's awesome. And I'm hoping, because one thing she's always had trouble with is outreaching to other creators. So I'm hoping her in a company, she can pretty much interact with other creatives more. Because one problem she's always had with collabing is the fact that it takes away focus from her chat and her community. And she's always felt guilty about that, and I'm hoping with an actual being part of a company, she's able to, you know, again, move past that a little. I'm looking at this and I'm a little confused. I'm hoping she's able to interact and have more collabs, or at least behind the scenes, have more interactions with other VTubers. Because again, she's kind of been closed off overall. Like, she still interacts with people. She's still had a few collabs. But compared to, like, some other people, like, if you actually look at the grand scheme, it's not as often. Where is it? And it's just also a great way for her to network and make more friends, so I'm just really excited in that regard at the very least. So that makes me wonder. I think that makes it... I think that leaves... I mean, technically, Kirsha's in a management company, but I think that makes it so that my favorite indie VTuber now might technically be, by process of elimination, might be SSE, so which is a terrible thought to have. probably the second most cursed person I watch. The most cursed person I watch is easily Arialulu. Arialulu is easily the most cursed VTuber I enjoy. Ooh. SS Issa is like a tame version of Arialulu. But they're both pretty cursed. They're both... I don't know what the term is for them, but they are those kind of women that will just say the most, like, vile, disgusting things. Like, not... Well, I mean, it is offensive, but not like, not like, not like offensive to people thing, but just like, they'll just be like, oh, hey, let me just talk about, like, a funny thought I had about piss fetishes, and it's just like, why would you have that thought to begin with? But they're like really into talking about like this thing, and you're just like, it is funny, but also why did you have that thought? Like, why would you ever think about that? Or Arialulu talking about just like, just like, God, could you imagine if my boyfriend was Regulus, but imagine if he cucked me by having sex with Homelander. That would be so peak, chat. And it's just like, I think you need to seek some help, girl. In all honesty. But they're so passionate about their degenerate beliefs, chat. It's just a magnetic. Ooh. Ooh. I feel like actually using urine, as messed up as it is a pretty good way to actually explain how Arialulu is just it's just a more unfiltered and tilted than SS Issa, because SS Issa is like, she has, I don't know if she has a bladder problem, she just goes to the bathroom a lot on stream, and so like as a joke she has one of her emotes is just like stick figure of herself sitting in a chair, and the chair is like has a yellow puddle on it. It's just like, this has like, it's pissa, so it's just a joke. Meanwhile, Arialulu, for her company debut, when she joined a company, for her company debut, Arialulu had a whole bit where she pretended to appreciate the urine of one of her gen mates, which is pretty fucked up. It's like the difference between crack and crack cocaine. Both are bad for you, but one is that little bit worse. Let's see here. Oh my god, chat, look how tiny these pieces are. Why are these... Look, this is gonna have great color separation overall. Let's just appreciate that. Let's not focus on the negatives and appreciate. This is gonna have some really good color separation. I don't think I've ever... Oh my god, that's smaller than a mono eye. Yeah, that is smaller than a mono eye. I don't know if I can think of a piece in a Gunpla that's been smaller than these little pegs. That's insane. And we need to put on F5, F6. The Fs were... Are you the F? That's E. It's impossible to keep these in order. Does it help that Megatron kind of has, outside of the red, his color scheme is pretty monotone? So it's very hard to remember, like, if F is one of the darker grays or if it's one of the lighter grays. It's a bit rough in that regard. Okay, here they are. We also need a... Ah! It hurts my soul whenever I make that mistake. We also need to cut this off. Ooh. I should be getting new build kits for Furai Shockwave and Soundwave. Ooh. Are those the female models of them, or like the human female models of them, or is that something else? I was actually about to ask you a different question, but I actually want to know that first. Well, no, those are figures, aren't they? So, Farai. Wait, is this Farai? No, this is Flame. Oh, well, wait, no. No, wait, wait, no. Wait, yes, this is Furai model. This is Furai. So you're getting you're getting these models. Okay. Did you have to find those, or did you? No, just yeah. This is it's the same company that made this guy. Flame is like the brand, but the Furai is the model company. Ooh, it's a good one. Just be prepared that the instructions are not the best, but the models themselves are pretty good. But I was actually gonna ask, what has like, it's always, I mean, I feel like this is gonna be easier to answer. Hopefully it's easier, but it's kind of a question that people usually don't think about. Big Bad Toy Store usually has a good selection of even older stuff, I know. But what I was thinking is, what has like the worst Starscream in like Transformers media? It's like, it's always like, we always think about the best, or we should be thinking about the best, but like, what's like the thing that just makes you go like, ah? Oh. What's the Gundam seed of Starscreams? What's the one where it's just like, you just missed the point completely of the character? Thinking about getting RC, God, they must still have a lot of the models. I thought it was only accessible through like are they also IDW, or are they just a different continuity? Bayverse Starscream. He doesn't do anything. Bayverse, I mean, I can't remember him doing jack in the Bayverse. He's just kind of there. He gets like punched by like Megatron when Megatron wakes up. He's like, Starscream, you're a bitch, and he punches him. And that flew across the room, and I don't think I can find it. Holy crap. But Bayverse is pretty. He's pretty much like nothing in Bayverse. He also looks ugly as hell. Which, I mean, I know that's kind of true for like a lot of the guys in that. But I might just have to assemble it without that. That is one of the smallest pieces on the set, and it flew across the room. And the room's a little dirty right now. I don't know where I'd begin to look for it. Like, I mean, I know it would be in this area right here, but it could have bounced off something. I found it. I don't know how that's possible. He's a Dorito. I don't want to say he's a Dorito, but I know that people commonly call him a Dorito. I don't know how I found that. It's because I gave up hope of finding it now, chat. One thing you'll learn about me is the less belief I have in myself, the more likely it's gonna all come out alright, chat. It's a really weird curse. Not including Bumblebee movie. Bumblebee movie gives us the most... The Bumblebee movie actually cared to make things look like they're G1, and it looks so good. And then in, like, the Beast Wars movie that isn't Beast Wars at all, but then in, like, the, you know, like, Rise of the Beasts, they just go back to, like, it just feels like they go back to Bayverse style things, and people are like, it's so good, and it's like, what's good about it? It's like, well, look at this action sequence. I haven't seen it, but, like, all I've ever seen people, like, promote it on is the action sequence, and I'm like, that don't look so good. Like, I mean, like, it's fun action, but, like, what about, like, the story and whatnot? What about the characters? And it's just like, nah. They're also back to being like, hey, Wheeljack is, you know, the scientist of the team, so he has to look like a massive nerd. It's like, give him his light up ears. Make him talk through his ears. Just do that. He already looks goofy. You do not need to give him glasses and make him look like a giant nerd. He already looks goofy as hell. His ears light up when he talks. It's not that difficult. But no, they have to be like, no, he has to be this... They're allergic. We get him for like we get him for half a second in like Bumblebee. We get to see him for half a second in Bumblebee in like his G1 form. He looks good. Everyone looks good. And then they go, no, we're done with Bumblebee designs. Everyone has to look, you know, different now. Piss off. We have to go back to the overly cluttered designs of like Bayverse stuff. I'm just not into that. I just skipped that film. Okay, so this goes here, if I can get it on. Come on. I think I have to get this piece off. Ooh. Actually, the guy who did Bumblebee, I think also directed Kubo and the Two Strings. Great movie. Shockwave, everyone had like a great appearance. They all proved you can make the Transformers look like their G1 versions in like live action, and it looks good. And then they kind of just scrapped that idea. Blitzwing looked different, but like Blitzwing looked like a bulkier Starscream. I don't know why they decided to be like, here's Blitzwing, and then kill him off immediately instead of being like, here's some random dude. I don't know why they decided that. That was a little weird. And we were so obsessed with finding this piece, chat, I think we lost the other piece. But yeah, it proved that all these designs look good. And for some reason, they're just like, no. There's like this modern obsession in like half of Transformers modern media that all the 80s designs are stupid and we shouldn't like them, when all of them are peak and we should love them. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some bad designs. Like, nobody bats a perfect season. But this weird obsession in some parts of like Transformers where it's just like, we can't just make things look like their classic design but in our new art style, or update the design in like a way that makes sense. We just need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's really annoying. I'm kicking myself in the ass for the oh, the YOLO Park. Ooh. Okay, so I needed to sand it. Oh, here's the other piece. Okay, let's this one looks like it'll go on easy. I'm sorry that you missed out. Oof. So building models, I think that's one of the figures. No, there's a model. But no! Ironically, that wasn't the piece we needed, I think. Was it? I'm not sure, but it's still fair. No, it was the piece we needed, but this is so hard to assemble. That one, I don't know where it fell. It fell somewhere over here, but I, again, don't know how I'm going to begin to find it. That one's going to be even harder to find, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. That one's going to take a minute. But I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, nice, you got your husbando at least. Well, I think both of them are your husbandos, but you got your well, actually, no, wait. You got the husbando that I think would be more likely to cheat on you, but he's also the one who's less likely to steal your kidneys. I don't think having a Decepticon husbandos is good for your health. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Okay, so these need to be pushed in, but what? Wait. Okay. This, I'm kind of happy I'm not doing the lower because this has even more complicated stuff, so I think we're definitely not doing the abdomen until Wednesday. Thrown by the cog. I did see a funny post on Twitter where a guy was like, oh hey, where it's just like, Sentinel, how will we create like a mining class, you know, to fulfill the Quintesson's demands? And it's just like, and it just says like the duplicitous like Sentinel Prime, and it says a guy with a pair of tweezers going taking out the T-Cog from like from a D16 and just throwing it to the side. And just the whole time he's like, hold up, I'm a little confused. Oh my god, I need to take it off and then sand it down. This is a bit much, I'm not gonna lie. Because I need to like push these in so they're flush. Because they're actually sticking out too much. But before that, I'm going to quickly look for the piece that flew off. I think I see it. I'm not sure if I see it. I'm not sure if that's it or a crumb of some kind. Thing is, last time I lost a model piece under this table, it was the hand of the High New Gundam, and I still haven't found that, so I'm a little concerned. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna have my head go away so my model doesn't freak out too much. That was not intended to be why I have that, but good feature nonetheless. Right side is it's red, so it stands out better. Downside is still not the best. You've seen that one? Good to hear. Okay. This... Ooh. I don't want to call it here, because I have to, like, literally go under the desk to find this, but... Hold up. You know, I was saying earlier, the issue of it being too tight in the build, of it being, like, going from snug to tight can be a problem, and I feel like it's not exemplified any better than here, where this is, like, a picometer smaller, like, this is a picometer too big, and I literally have to, like, use the X-Acto knife while it's on to get it to freaking go in there. I just cut my nails too, so I can apply a good amount of force to it directly through my fingers without like my nails buckling or anything like that. And it's still not wanting to go in at all. This is pretty bad. Let me quickly look under here. I think that's it? No, is that a crumb? That's too red, I think. That's too red. I don't know where it went. I don't know where I'd begin to look for it. But I have to look for it nonetheless. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay. This is something you don't want to happen with any piece, but a piece that teensy tiny. If it went under the computer, I might be boned. Like, I can move the computer, but... I think it rolled in this direction. Let's give it a look. You know what, actually, let's see if it didn't even end up under the table. Let's see if it rolled out from under the table first and foremost, because there's a lot of clear space over here for it to have rolled. Now it's somewhere under the table. Damn it. Is that it? No. Is that it? I don't know. Okay. Hey, dust the computer. Oh. dark red. This is brutal. I was getting a pure black kitten because my mom volunteered me for one. Name? Gonna name it Ravage. Aww. I was actually talking about earlier on stream how Megatron, how he returned in the ongoing comic from Transformers. Is he has not Ravage, but he has Laserbeak on his shoulder, and he has like his because he has no eyes, he's hooked up to Laserbeak so Laserbeak can see for him. Which I always love when the Transformers kind of like treat the Cybertronians as in like kind of like when they treat them like robots. I do love that because like that's something you could never do with like an organic character. For the Cybertronian, easy as could be. Hold on, I'm gonna look at the instructions. We might just skip this step and I'll just look for it off stream because I can have 2 days to go down and look for this thing, but we might just skip this for the time being. I'm gonna have to like get under like two different desks. I'm gonna have to look for this thing, but I think that's just not something I should be doing right now. So. Give me one moment, and I'll be right back. Give me one moment, I'll be right back. I actually just have to use the bathroom. I'm back. Let me just get my gloves. Let me get a new pair of gloves on. Ooh, I might have to order new gloves soon. I'll definitely have to order new gloves by the end of the month at the very least. Let's get that back. I've always considered one thing about myself, and that is how I don't think I could ever join like an agency or company myself, simply because I am just because I don't really have a good history with authority. I kind of, when I get fed up, I just stop caring. Let me... Christ. Let's just continue building. I don't know where my headphones are. There they are. Okay. Okay, we're back. We're cooking. We're grooving. And we're gonna put this goes here. We'll build the upper torso as much as we can, which just kind of means the front part and the back part. We just won't connect them yet. And then I'll find those pieces that fell off. Oop. And really, I'm gonna have to do this off stream regardless. So I think I'm gonna have to take these out again. Bah, my head. I'm gonna have to take these out and literally sand them down or like cut them down. They are not really the best. Everything else about this mold has been really clean, has been surprisingly clean, all things considered. This is gonna be a bit of a rough point. What are you? What am I looking at? What did I cut these out for some reason. Probably not. I probably cut these out when I had no business cutting them out. But we're gonna complete the backpack. I think this is the lower abdomen, which I might do the I might do this step, not the lower abdomen as a whole, but these steps because they're so small, off stream. That's full admission because I don't want to lose more pieces. Ooh. On the bright side, theoretically, I could use. There are ways to make replacement parts, and I could make a replacement part for this. I just have to look up online the best way to do that. But I could make a jank replacement part if need be. Sandrock, that's what it reminds me of. The Sandrock has grenade launchers in his shoulder, and that's what these look like. Like Megatron, it wouldn't surprise me if these are grenade launchers. Okay. So let's complete the backpack. We need... You know what we should do, actually? We should make sure we don't lose this piece. We should have it... Just put it... It's not on screen right now, but... The other one of... The other one of these. Because we lost one. And we want to make sure we don't lose the other one. Ooh, I'm gonna have to be looking all night for that. I might have to wait until morning when I can actually use the morning light to look for it, because this room that I'm in gets natural lighting. And you would not, and you don't think about it, but that really affects your capacity to find things. Okay. We need C. Oh. I think all the pieces are right here. So C1, C2, C8, C2, and 8. I think we can put the pieces together. At the end of stream, I'll just have to not put them tightly together so I can take them apart for, you know, modification. For, Actually, wait. Let me look at this real quick. No, how it's assembled, I can put these pieces together at the end of stream regardless. Okay. I might still want to take the pieces apart after stream, but... It actually shouldn't be too... It actually would be easier than if I was doing it with a high grade looking at it. This guy actually disassembles, as I've said multiple times, real cleanly. I always find it kind of funny on Megatron how his cannon arm is his scope in his gun. Like, that always kind of seems just fun to me. Actually, though, talking about a scope, I do like how his, when he gets his cannon arm, how the telescoping effect in Transformers 1. I didn't like that, how it, like, comes out of his arm, but it has, like, a telescoping effect to get longer. A lot of little things in that movie that are just real clean. Also, I'm really curious. based on just like the things he's been doing, what Chris Hemsworth is gonna do next. Because now that I don't know if he's no longer, but now that he's not as committed to doing Thor movies and whatnot anymore, he's like doing other films, and he's kind of all over the place in what he's doing, and I'm kind of all for it. Because in Transformers 1, he was Optimus, or Orion Pax, but he was Optimus by the end of it. In Furiosa, he was Dementis, which he was really good as. He's just, it's like after all that time of having to play the same dude, he's just like, I'm ready to be anyone else. And he's just going into it like full throttle, and it's really nice. Ooh. It doesn't feel like he's tied down to like the MCU. It feels like he's trying to break away from it. Oh god. Which has me a little concerned that when the MCU goes down, it's going to take a lot of actors with it. Honest Brian Thierry Henry, absolutely. He was amazing. I love him also in Bullet Train, but that's a completely different. That's completely different. But in Bullet Train, he's also a hell of a lot of fun. And he's also such a different character in Bullet Train, which I'm only saying because it just shows that he has good range as an actor himself, just like Hemsworth. Like this. Okay. Yeah, they got the for D16 and for Orion Pax, they did some real good casting. Ooh. The fact Mufasa got 3 nominees, yeah, that is the most bought off shit I've ever seen. Like, we already knew the Oscars and all those other ones were just like bought off, but like, yeah, now that, yeah. But the thing is, animation for the longest time never got appreciation for like anything, because they're all because Hollywood is all a bunch of pretentious a-holes who are like, no, animation isn't as serious as, you know, as actual acting. It's just voice acting and whatnot, and it's just like there's so much that goes into it. Like, you're just a-holes. But it's extra frustrating that like, what do we finally get a nominee for? What is it finally getting acknowledged for? Oh, The Lion King, which is just an absolute abysmal just cash grab. Yeah, sure. People like, oh, it had good music. No, it didn't. They rhymed they have a song where the entirety of it rhymes brother with brother. That is literally that is a mortal sin in like any rhyme scheme. Brother, he's my brother. Just where's my gun? I just need to end it all, chat. Disclaimer: don't do that. Steve Buscemi did an excellent. He did a good job as Starscream. I do like how his it didn't need, like, they didn't make a big deal out of it. But I thought it was kind of interesting how they gave, like, Starscream's, like, voice and origin story in a way. Normally it'd be like, oh, hey, that's really stupid. But in this case, it more plays into the scene, and it kind of just shows why somebody of Stars, like, just, I don't know, there's something I appreciate about it. Like, normally I'd be annoyed by something like that, but it's just, it plays into the scene so naturally that, like, it's just like, oh, it gives greater context to the world it's in, and it's an origin for that continuity. It's not like an answer to like everything. It's more just like, oh hey. Ooh. It's kind of a constant reminder to Starscream, his own voice, in that continuity, that like Megatron took the reins of power from him, which could just be a source of animosity for his more treacherous nature later on. Like, whenever Starscream opens his mouth, he's reminded of what Megatron took from him, effectively. Because he was the leader of the... Like, even though Megatron got revenge for him, he also did take, you know, his commanding spot as the Royal Guard, or Decepticons. So, there'd probably still be animosity in that. Makes sense why Starscream... Yeah, ooh. Gives context. A lot of times he's just treacherous. He's just like, fuck. but like actually making it so that Starscream was effectively the leader before Megatron. You know, like it really it can make sense why, like, yeah, just why I'd want it. Ooh. Mind you, you don't need that. Like Starscream can just be like a little bitch who's just like, hey, I just want power for myself, whatever. Especially considering that can also highlight like the flaw of the Decepticons. Not that they really need that level of nuance, but like how the Decepticons are just a might makes right, you know, just always vying for control and therefore inherently unstable. You don't need that, mind you. But it's never a bad thing to have. Well, it can be a bad thing to have depth, but it's not a bad thing in this case to have that little extra depth. Oh, I put them on wrong. I put them on backwards, chat. Let me fix that. Ooh, come on, please. For the love of God. I will say, chat, keep an eye out for next week, because we are probably reading Samuel Butler. I'm still planning on reading Samuel Butler, but I might swap it out for the Cassatria, and I might do Butler the last week of the month. I might do the reading at the end of the month. So just keep an eye out for that, because if you want the reading, just be aware you might have to wait a little bit longer. But if you want the Cassatria or whatever, the bell pepper, you might be getting it a little earlier. Okay. Let's assemble what we have just to see what we got. Well, we'll put this here for the moment. Yeah, we're at like 3 hours. Holy crap! Looking for that piece didn't help, but at the same time, I also know a lot of that was just the build. Yeah, I was like, do we have enough time to like start on the lower body? Because I said no, we are just not touching that today. And we have the shoulder pads, which I think. Yeah, we have this one and this one. He doesn't set up as well as a lot of Gunpla, but that's not a point against him. It's just this isn't how a model is supposed to be displayed. But he looks pretty good. I have his head kind of high. I have his torso low and his head a little low as well. But he looks great. We only have his like lower waist and legs, which are going to be a lot smoother to make, because we're familiar with how this model goes together. And I'll be doing some of the abdomen off stream, just because it's going to be a little bit more complicated. But we should be back on Wednesday, because instead of having Transformers Tuesday, we will instead have a collab with a Transformer. So I guess we're still doing Transformers Tuesday. But we will be having a collab with Shadow Gale, who is now... What model of jet are you? I don't think she knows what model of jet she is. I think she's still determining her alt mode. I shouldn't have asked that. But we'll be having a collab with Shadow Gale tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly the time. It'll either probably be the time of our previous collabs, which was around 6, or later. It really depends on her. I let her choose it. Ooh. But that'll be tomorrow afternoon / evening. Be there. It'll be fun. We're going to be playing Terraria. I've never played Terraria. I've always been interested in it, but I've been more of a creative kind, so I've gone more to Minecraft, and I don't know how I'm gonna get those pieces to line up a little bit proper, but there's a little bit issue in the shoulder I've noticed. But be there, and I'd like to say thank you for anyone who's tuned in now or in the future, whether you've caught us live or in the VOD, and whether you have been an active chatter or you've been lurking, you're all loved and appreciated. I hope I have entertained you with my ramblings as much as I have been entertained with talking to you. I've heard that as 2D Minecraft, but I've always wanted like the 3D modeling I've been able to do is like recreating things. I know it is, you know, like you're still building with like blocks in that sense, but you're building with squares, while in Minecraft you have full blocks. Ooh. So I do know that, but thank you. But thank you, Shadow Gale, for being here. Thank you for, you know, being available for tomorrow for the collab. And thank you again, anyone who's tuned in. But we have reached the end of our broadcasting hours. And let me quickly get the Star Spangled Banner up. However, before I leave, of course, I must always say, well, I have to first say, subscriptions are still available, and there's always room for more followers, but, no, and there's always room for more followers. Thank you one and all for joining us, but we have at last reached the end of our broadcasting hours. Thank you very, very much. I keep saying thank you. I want you to have, most importantly though, a great day and a wonderful life. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Have a great time. I clicked on the wrong thing! My endings are always scuffed, don't worry about it. Oh, I forgot to redirect. I'm gonna quickly look to see if there's anyone worthwhile to redirect to while it plays. Probably not, but I always like to see. I'm gonna redirect you guys to anywhere nice. That is not for another 3 days. That's Chloe's debut for her new company, her 2.5. Lloyd Omari is debuting an updated model in a few days on the 17th. But I don't think I have anywhere to redirect you guys, sadly, so have a good one.